Good morning, guys. This is Miss Demerath, and I'm going to read another biography to you. This one's about Albert Einstein. I know I had one book that was about Albert Einstein in the room, but I couldn't find it. So I went to Miss Jennifer's library, and I borrowed this one. It's called Odd Boy Out, and it's written by Don Brown, and it's about the life of Albert Einstein, who is a famous person. So let's learn a little bit about him. Miss you guys. On a sunny, cold Friday in the old city of Ulm, Germany, a baby named Albert Einstein is born. It is March 14, 1879. I'm going to move my head so you guys can kind of see what is going on there. Look, you see the wah. It's the sound that a baby makes after they're born. The joy his family has for the new birth is brief. His grandmother cries, "Oh, much too fat, much too fat." And his mother fears his head is too big. Be patient and all will be well, the doctor insists, and he is right, although the back of Albert's head will always appear somehow swollen. Albert grows, and soon it is time for him to coo and babble and make cute words. But he says nothing. His family frets and waits and frets and waits. Is Albert well? Finally, he talks, and when he does, he can be clever and sharp. When he is nearly 3, his parents promise Albert a surprise, and he expects a toy. When they instead present him with a baby sister, he says, "Where are the wheels?" Albert is sometimes cruel to his sister, Maja. He nearly hits her with a hard ball and strikes her head with a hoe. Later, Maja would say that one needed a sound skull to be Albert's sister. Poor Maja is not the only object of Albert's rage. Many times when he is displeased, his face pales, his nose goes white, and a nasty tantrum follows. His temper so terrifies a tutor hired to help young Albert prepare for school that she runs away, never to be seen again. A little bit of a scary little guy. But Albert isn't all anger and brooding. To things he enjoys, he brings a single-minded attention. Houses of cards captivate him, and he builds one 14 stories high. A simple compass, a gift from his father, astonishes Albert. He turns it, tilts it, tips it, and yet the gadget's needle always points north. What hidden thing makes it work, he wondered. Here's the house of cards that he made, 14 stories high. And there's the compass, sort of like what we learned about when we studied the continents, a compass. The Einsteins moved to the large city of Munich. There, Albert's parents encourage his independence and take the unusual step of allowing 4-year-old Albert to wander the streets alone. He starts school. Among his classmates, he is an odd boy. The others love to play ball. Albert does not like sports. Soldiers on parade excite the other boys, but they disturb Albert. The soldiers doing a parade, and there's Albert. He's a little fearful. And Albert is Jewish, the only one out of all the students. Some of his classmates taunt and insult him for it. Young Albert does well in school subjects that he likes and ignores the others. He likes math, not so much Latin and Greek. When questioned in class, Albert lingers over his responses, frustrating his teachers who prefer quick, snappy answers. And afterward, the teachers see his lips move as he quietly repeats the answer to himself. Is Albert dull-witted? The teachers wonder. That means they thought, is he not very smart? Nevertheless, he earns good grades. At home, he practices the violin, especially the music of Mozart. No tutor is necessary to keep Albert on this task. I believe that love of a subject is a better teacher than a sense of duty, at least for me, he later said. When Albert is 12, his parents invite a medical student named Max Talmud to their home. He and Albert become friends, a rare thing for Albert, who later described himself as having the sense of being a stranger with a need for solitude. It means he'd like to be alone. Max gives Albert a geometry book. The exact world of shapes, lines, points, and angles is a wonderwork to him. After a short time, a few months, he had worked through the whole book, Max later said. He then devoted himself to higher mathematics. Soon the flight of his mathematical genius was so high that I could no longer follow. So he was a man that had already been through college, and he was in medical school. And Albert learned so much math on his own that this man couldn't help him anymore. It's pretty crazy. Unlike the charms of math, other schoolwork bores Albert. The mindless and mechanical method of teaching caused me great difficulties, he said. I would rather let all kinds of punishment descend upon me than to learn to rattle something off by heart. His disinterest in schoolwork and distant manner irk some of his teachers. One tells Albert that he would never get anywhere in life. Albert ignores the teacher's prediction and occupies himself with music and math. He mulls puzzlements of his own invention. What would it be like to ride a light beam? He wonders. Would the world appear the same if he raced at light's phenomenal speed? When Albert is about 15, his father's business takes the family to Milan, Italy. But before Albert can leave Germany, the law says he must serve in the army. So he is left behind to first complete high school and then the army. Albert moves into a boarding house. His mood turns black. Albert is miserable at school and longs for the comfort of his family. His happiness and his health sink. To recover, he is given special permission to quit school and join the others in Italy. Life is sunny there. Albert has his family, museums to visit, and of course his private study of math. For this, Albert can push everything else from his thoughts, much as he did when he built houses of cards. Even at parties, Albert unravels knotty math problems, unaware of the guests, the talk, and the music. There he is being sad while he was at school and his family moved away. And here he is sitting with his mom and dad at a party and doing his math. It's pretty cool. He tries to enroll in Zurich Polytechnic, a college in Switzerland. But unprepared in the school subject he has neglected, Albert fails the entrance test. He spends the next year earning his high school diploma and then enters Polytechnic and trains to be a scientist. Young Albert graduates and tries to find work teaching at a university, but no job appears. In 1902, he takes the position of Expert 3 class at the Swiss Patent Office, a kind of government library for new inventions. Albert marries and becomes a father. The duties of family and work do not stop him from puzzling and wondering about math, about light, time, the world, the universe. Sometimes he pushes his baby son's carriage through the streets of Zurich. Like a night sky filled with stars, Albert's mind is bright with glowing ideas. As stars are joined into images called constellations, Albert's ideas make a picture of space and time and energy and matter that no one has ever seen before. So here he is going to university. And there he is pushing his baby's carriage and still thinking about math and light and the universe. So that's the picture of where he was. This is the picture of what was probably going on in his head as he was pushing his son in the baby carriage. Albert says that light is made up of tiny bits of energy called photons that behave like a spray of water from a hose. He says that everything is in motion, and when something moves very fast as light, strange things happen, like clocks running slower and objects becoming shorter. Albert says that something as tiny as a grain of sand is the vessel of unimaginable energy. For scientists, Albert's discoveries mean the photoelectric effect, theories of relativity, and E equals mc squared. For the rest of us, his ideas mean automatic door openers, television, space travel, and atomic energy. For Albert, his work earns him a great award, the Nobel Prize. He becomes famous, but to him, fame is like the hubbub of his parents' parties, something to be ignored while he enjoys wonders and puzzlements of his own invention. For the world, Einstein comes to mean not a fat baby or an angry child or odd boy, but a great thinker. And then here, if you decide to read this book sometime, here's some information about the author and a little bit more about Albert Einstein. So we know Albert Einstein as a great thinker, but it doesn't sound like everybody else around him always thought of him that way. So I think, once again, this biography teaches us that it's okay if you have a different vision than someone else. What if Albert Einstein had never followed up on his vision? We might not have some of the important things or know some of the important things that we now know and have. So be an Einstein. You guys all are. I'll talk to you soon.